Athletes don't fail in business because they lack talent. When athletes fail in business, it's almost always because they abandon the same principles that made them great in the first place. And I want to be really clear up front. This video is not tearing athletes down. It's about protecting you. It's about pointing out the traps early on so that you don't make the same mistakes that some athletes before you have made. Whether you're already in business or you're still playing and you're thinking about entrepreneurship one day, this applies to you. My name is Andrew Gottslig. I'm a former athlete turned entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur now for over a decade, built multiple businesses to 7 figures, a basketball training business, and a sports software company. This channel exists because I know how lonely this transition can be from athlete to entrepreneur. I know what it's like to be wired differently, to want more purpose, to want more out of life, to want to build something real for you and your family, and ultimately to honor God along the way. So let's talk honestly. Here's how athletes go wrong in business and how you can avoid it. The first trap is ego. And ego is deadly. Ego is the enemy of growth. Ego is what convinces you that because you are a great athlete, you should automatically become successful in whatever you do next. And that mindset will destroy you. Scripture shows us in the Bible that the first sin ever recorded was pride. Pride always comes before destruction. And we see the same thing today. I've seen athletes walk into business environments expecting respect because they've put the hard work in as an athlete, expecting influence because they've learned the game, expecting success without humility, and that never works. And honestly, one of the clearest examples of this, and I say this with all due respect, as basketball's my sport, I love this man, Allen Iverson. We all know the famous interview where he says we're talking about practice, and it's entertaining, it's iconic. I love it as much as y'all do. But the truth is that Allen Iverson could get away with that in basketball because he already put the work in for years and years and years to be great. He had the reps, he had already proven himself, but that mindset does not survive outside the sport. And when you look at a man who made over $200 million and still struggled financially afterwards, you see that there's a deeper issue. It wasn't talent, it wasn't opportunity, it was mindset. Allen Iverson was in a place where he was not set up to succeed outside of his sport. He forgot what got him there in the first place. See, ego convinces you that you don't need to become a student. You don't need to relearn and put that work in yourself. And that's why ego kills growth. The antidote to ego is humility. This week, we're doing a Bible study with our team. We went through John chapter 13 where Jesus washed the disciples' feet. Now think about it. God of the universe gets on his knees and washes feet. If that's the example of leadership, then ego has no place in winning long term. If you want to win in business, you become humble, you become teachable, and you're ready to learn. Once you unlock those things, you are able to take the next step. Do not fall into the trap of pride and ego. The next trap that athletes fall into is the talent trap. Athletes are often naturally gifted, God-given abilities, and that's a blessing. But talent alone is never enough. I see this all the time where athletes forget how much work it took to get good and great in the first place, and they forget about the early mornings, boring drills, the conditioning, the film sessions, the reps that no one saw. And once things came easy, they stopped doing the things that made them successful. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, perfect example of this. Think of how hard that he would have worked as a kid to become successful, develop real talent. But once success came, the process stopped, the discipline stopped, the humility stopped, and the respect for the game and what got him there in the first place stopped. I love a quote that LeBron always says, and I've heard him say this to a lot of young players. He says, keep the main thing the main thing. And in sports, the main thing is reps, discipline, preparation, putting work into your craft. When athletes move into business, the main thing changes. The principle doesn't change. If you abandon the process, the talent will not save you. Talent without work hits a ceiling. Let me say that again. Talent without work will hit a ceiling. And that leads right into the next trap, which is skipping reps. This one is huge. I've seen so many athletes with insane potential early who thought talent was enough. So they stopped training. They stopped putting the reps in. And eventually what happens, we've seen it all, they fall off. You can have a player that's grade 9, 10 with incredible potential. They quit putting the work in, they fall off. If you skip reps in the gym, don't expect to start. So why would you skip reps in business and expect success? In sports, you watch film, you study your mistakes, you correct them. And people get into business and won't listen to their sales calls. They won't have time where they review their week. They won't study the numbers, learn marketing, practice communication. You can't skip reps. If you expect to be great and you skip reps, greatness won't be achieved in your life. If you want to be great, do not skip reps. Another trap I see athletes treating business too casually. They respect the sport. They showed up early. They prepared. They took it serious. And then they get into business and everything changes. There's no schedule. There's no plan. There's no structure. We're showing up late. We're not tracking any metrics. We're not taking it serious. Would you tolerate that as an athlete on your team? If your teammates were showing up late, not taking it serious? Of course not. So why tolerate it in business? Business is a game. You're shifting from pursuing life as an athlete to pursuing a different sport. And if you don't respect the game, it's going to expose you incredibly fast. And the last thing I want to leave y'all with is patience. This is where I want to encourage you. You spent 10, maybe 20 years becoming an elite athlete, becoming great at your sport. Why would you think in 6 months you're going to become the greatest entrepreneur in the world? I've been an entrepreneur now for over a decade, and I wish it came easier. It didn't. But that doesn't mean that anything is wrong. Business is a sport. You're just early. Settle in. Enjoy the reps. Enjoy learning. Enjoy the growth. You're not failing. You're just building. And that's ultimately the mindset that we all have to have, is we're in this for the long game, and there's no easy way out. Here's the truth I want you all to remember. As an athlete, you have a massive advantage in business. Don't fall for these traps that so many athletes have fallen before you. Do the same things that made you successful in your sport. If you want a positive framework for this, I made a video breaking down the 5 habits that every athlete has that transfer directly into business. I'd recommend that y'all go check that video out, and you'll be able to get some huge practical takeaways to put into your entrepreneurial journey. And so listen, y'all, it's a new channel. We will be posting multiple long form videos per week. Like, subscribe to the channel, come along the journey, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm here for y'all. I've lived this journey, I understand it, and I understand that it's a tough transition sometimes to go from being an athlete, pursuing that, all the way into entrepreneurship, building a business, and I'm here for you. And that's why this exists. So love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.